All right, let's watch this short video. My wife posted this earlier on the Lola and Ola Instagram page. I thought it was fascinating. I thought we should talk about it, right? There's a study I was trying to pull up before we started the show, but it skipped my mind. But we'll talk about that later. I will find it. I will talk about it. But we're talking about dating right now, okay? And I want to bring us up to speed with some reality a little bit, right? Um, we need to keep an open mind, but we also need to be aware of a few things. So I'm going to play this video for you, and I want to know your thoughts as you are watching it. Let's get to it.
What percentage of people do you think today meet their spouse on a dating app?
Like 40?
80%.
80!
80%. So we have to understand what percentage of people do you think today meet their spouse on a dating app?
Like 40?
80%.
80!
80%.
All right, so here's my question for you. How would you interpret this? What would you, if you were in the dating scene today, what would you do with this information? I'm looking at the chats. What would you do with this information if you were advising a person that's trying to date and they're looking for a spouse today? How would you interpret this? What would this mean to you, right? What percentage of people meet their spouse online today, right? How would you interpret this? I'm looking. How would you interpret this, right? 80% of people meet their spouse online today. If you have this information, if you have a young niece, the young niece is 27 years of age, and they're like, I don't know, I haven't really met anyone. I'm just, I'm taking my time. Like, oh, do you want to meet somebody? No, I'm open, right? What would you do with this information, right? If you knew that 80% of people that are getting married, they met their spouse online, what would you do with that information? Out of every other place where you can meet people, right? You can meet people in church, you can meet people at your company, seminars, events, live events. I suggest that, by the way. You can meet people in the mosque, you can meet people at the grocery stores, right? You can meet people at the Yanokbaja, you can meet people anywhere, right? But 80% are meeting online today. What would you do with this information? I am, you know, what would you do with this information? Toby and Tribe says join a dating app. Okay. All right. All right. Ola Olatuji says give a try and by your research. I'm not sure what you mean by that. And D-Law says, I believe it. Where else would you meet someone? Most people work from home now, and we're all getting less social. Yeah. Ola Olatuji says, the church brothers are worse. The church brothers are just people, I guess, right? Glam Ola says, add online to the mix. Do we find that a lot of people are still shying away from having a profile on online dating apps? Do we find that a lot of people still feel some type of way about it? Many of them, a lot of people do create profiles on there. It's just that they don't put their faces, they don't put their pictures, and stuff like that. But they just kind of like go in there sneak. But there's this level of confidence and courage that you need to put your face with your full chest, especially if you're a person of certain age, on social media, right? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Oh, do your research. Do your research. Of course, because of social media. Yeah. So we become less emotional and more AI. That's a good way to say it. I'm gonna have to steal that from you. We're becoming less emotional, or we pretend to be less emotional, or we think we are less emotional. We have an illusion that we are less emotional. We try to do this AI behavior thing, and it just doesn't work, right? Um, D Love says there's no shame in it. I agree 100%. There's no shame if you're a single person. but I acknowledge that it takes a certain level of courage for certain types of people. There's no shame in it, right? That's that's where we are. 80% of people are finding their spouse online. But I need to talk about the online thing and what that means, right? Gracious Goodness says meet people at the library, at the museum, on the bus, on the plane, on the train. Back in the days, or people sit on a plane with people for 2 3 hours flight. They don't even talk to each other now. Have you noticed that? Like back in the days, you open up a chat, you start chatting like, hey, I like that. Hey, where are you going to? People like these days, no one is doing that. It's a good way to stand out. You could start doing that now. You could stand out. Like just, hello, my name is Ola. You live in New York, or you're going back home? Which one? Just spark off a conversation. I like your shoes. I like your shirts, right? Oh, I've always looked to buy that kind of earphones. Where did you buy it from? How much is it? Start a conversation. We're becoming less and less social. But the truth is that we still see people, right? We're not just AI, right? But we know the numbers now. 80% of people are meeting their spouse online. By the way, there's a study that I'm trying to show of where the study is about people, the marriages that last the longest, where they're meeting. And there was a study of how people meet in like 6 different places. Online was one of them. I would like to bring that up because that's going to be useful for you. So the fact that people are meeting their spouse online doesn't mean the marriages are lasting. It doesn't mean that, right? So that's another one that I'm going to bring back later. Ola at the Asalatu. Yeah, I'm sorry. Eshanomi. Pardon me. There are some registered dating business as well. Those are very good, but they cost money, and they don't necessarily create better results. Um, on the bus, okay, you must be in the UK. We don't get bus like that in the USA. Well, it depends on what part of USA you are. If you're in New York City, you do see the train and the bus as well, right? But yeah, you're right. Most people in the USA are not on the bus. And there's also socioeconomic stigma on the bus thing. Yes, you have to make sure that, yeah, to really start talking to people on the bus, you have to be a strong one. Or you can meet on the Man of Prestige channel, which is technically online. Ain't exactly. I was about to say you can meet people in the chats, right? You can meet people on Instagram. You go on my Instagram page, you comment on my stuff that I put up there. I put short clips, the shorts and the reels. You comment, people hit your face like that. They go inside and they slide in your DM. That's all part of online. So online is not necessarily dating app where you a dating app where you put your face. That's not necessarily what it means. Sometimes it's just in the right in the you're looking at comments. The comments is one of the most entertaining place online, right? Like don't like forget the video. You go under the comments or you go in the chat. It's one of the most entertaining places where you see certain behavior and characters, but also you can tap into people's face, especially on Instagram, and you can go down the rabbit hole of their page and you might just find a good thing, gentlemen, right? So all of that is all online. Maybe you are in the online church, in the chats of the online church, right? Those are all online, right? In a forum somewhere, right? On a webinar somewhere, right? You're actually learning maybe about your industry. All of that is called online, right? Maybe even email is still considered online, but you get the gist. It could be anything online. It doesn't have to be dating apps. Nonetheless, I don't think if you're a man or woman of a certain age, you should have a profile on the dating app. Okay. But also the dating apps are different from dating app to dating app. Some of them are for the most part hookups. I'm sure that's not what most of you are looking for. You're looking for serious situation. But 80% will be beans. They'll be your mates. We need to really do research so we don't meet the Debo of this world from Facebook. Yeah, you need to get to know that normal human beings are all online. If you meet a Debo, a lot of that accountability has to go to you. Okay. If you meet, because Debo also came off of online at some point and you met him in person and you didn't pick up certain things that your spirit should have picked up, red flags that your spirit should have picked up, you have to take accountability for that. If you end up meeting a Debo, right? The truth is that a Debo can only pretend for so long. You start seeing some things that rub you up the wrong way, you should be able to pick that up. And if you stay in it because you feel less than, you have low self-esteem and stuff like that, the best way to come out of that is still to hold yourself accountable, because that's the only route to to growth, you know. But good people are, they're all online, all of them, every single one of them. Okay, if they're not online, that's a red flag. Okay. Personally, it's not for me because I believe in the whole way of jamming. What the study I'm going to review later on, when I hopefully I remember to bring it up, shows that the people that met through mutual friends that they know in life actually last the longest. Okay, but I will find that study and show it to you. Okay, the people that meet through mutual friends, people that they know on a personal level, So some of you that may be in the dating scene right now, these conversations become awkward for you with your family and friends because you don't want them to shame you, you don't want to hear it, you don't want to hear the auntie. Whereas the auntie is the person you should be engaging, and don't take this too seriously and say, Auntie, share lock off for me, let me know I'm open, right? Auntie, if you have a beautiful girl that you think is a wife material, let me know I'm open. If you're a man or a woman of certain age, you have to be that confident. Confidence is sexy, okay? And and also they probably will bother you less, especially that you're open-minded like that, right? They won't come from a place that you also get irritated, you know. I understand why it's irritating for everybody to say, "Where's the husband? Where's all the time?" I get it, you know. But the downside of it is that you will shy away from the people that can actually introduce you to some good people. And based on studies, I just told you, the longest lasting are people within, because they tend to come from their same circles, and most, it's highly unlikely that someone will come from your inner circle and act like a Debo. It's very, very unlikely. Okay. Some of them do, but it's unlikely. Okay. It might be a wise idea to open an online account if you're really serious. Yeah, you know. But I will put more energy in talking to my favorite uncles, my favorite aunties, family members, and just keep an open mind, and don't be so, you know, because the more you shy away from that, the more you get irritated about the fact that they bother you about not being married, the higher the chances you will attract more of it, right? Of the irritation, right? But if you keep an open mind and just say, it is what it is, I'm 35, I'm 32, I'm 43, I'm not married, it's not really new. There's nothing new about that right now in 2023, right? And Auntie says, so kilo wan shele gba ola ma je jollof rice. And you can just see on your face instantly, you're angry. That is probably part of the problem. Okay, that is probably part of the problem, right? No, jollof rice. I get jollof rice soon. Just keep praying for me. You know, Sheleyoni, you know somebody. That's the most sexiest thing you can do ever. I don't know if you're aware, right? You know somebody. Ah, no, no, I didn't know. I didn't know what you will hear for the most part is I didn't know you were open. Okay, I didn't know you were open. Because honestly, they don't really want to offend you either. Some of them don't really care, but some of them also don't want to offend you. Okay. So, but how does one jam in person without appearing creepy? Ah, my guy, creepy BT Bawo. You know they toast people. How to toast people, ni? What creepy help? If you see somebody you like, you say you like them. Ask them what their name is. Creepy BT Bawo. Maybe you're continuing, as I see you tagged Toby and Tribe. Maybe you're continuing a different conversation. But no, no, no. We don't worry about being creepy. We go for what we want, gentlemen, and we make our assertions, make it clear, and we're okay if it's a no. Okay. I believe in fate, letting Cupid do his thing. I say it the aunties and the uncles, but ironically, Mario, good to see you. Good to see you. Let's. I think I have one more story here. Let's get into it. This no music in the background is pretty awkward for me. I have to be honest, but I pulled it off. But I gotta see about these people fixing it once and for all, because that's what brought us to this stage. That's just brought us to where we are right now. All right, so let's cover this last story and then call it a day.